Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the WZ-111 Model 5A. It's a Tier 10 Chinese heavy tank. It's located on the south spawn of Lakeville, and this one is under the command of Jamie2006. Now, this tank has a 13cm gun, capable of 490 alpha and penetrating 250mm with standard ammo, and he has loaded some. He's also got some heat rounds as well. They've got 340mm of pen, so 90mm more pen, but of course they are much more expensive. Now, this tank is one of the 111 project, which is a project from the 1960s, based on the IS-2 and the IS-3, a combination of bit. And it looks a bit like a T10, you might say, because it's got that kind of guard that goes across the centre in a V. Now, they did produce the WZ-111, built in 1964, but the Model 5A, I don't think that one was built, if I remember correctly. I may be wrong, I'm open to any correction. It's got a good DPM, it's got a strong turret with 7 degrees of gun depression. He's got up to the centre line, and we haven't come across any enemy tanks yet. So it looks like they've gone to town, and they've left the back door open, and oh, that poor T100LT, he spotted the enemy. Oh, cheeky thing, he managed to get one into the gun, but he's going to get a hit now, and that's the end of his game. Unfortunately, we didn't get the kill. It actually went to the cram bomb, but look at this, the enemy has left the back door open. They decided to go town instead of valley, and now look, they're Arty trying to run away. With a 490 alpha, they can take out to conquer a gun carriage with one shot. And now the whole team is probably having to turn around in the town and come all the way back, because they've suddenly realised, oh my god, we're going to lose this one. We're going to lose by being capped out. Well, the WZ-55 takes a shot, and it penned. It went through the hull, as you saw in the previous video. If you saw that one, WZs do have weak hulls. He puts one into the FV4005, gets a high roll for 506. Now, the Viz is now kind of hull down, but he has got this Bosch, and the viewport is showing up nicely over that ridgeline. So we'll just use the 7 degrees of gun depression and really push that guy by pumping rounds in. Gets another one, but he did take one back from the Bosch B. That Viz 55, remember, he's got 2 shells, 13cm shells, but he has got a weak spot on that cupola, the one on the right side. So you aim for the right side of a Viz if they poke themselves up. If they angle, you go for the side of the hull. Lovely, absolutely perfect by Jamie. Right for the weak spot, and he got it. Ooh, that's the Heshbon. And yes, he just fired an HE round at us. Okay, we're going to put one into the Leopard. Weak armor. Yep. Low roll, 441. You notice how he's using standard ammo. He's not even going for the premium stuff yet. He has got premium, but he's just not using it. He can make a lot of damage just with the standard ammo for the moment. You can see this game is actually turning out to be one where we hold both caps, and the enemy is desperately trying to get back to both. So they're kind of stuck. They took the town, and our EBR is sitting in town watching all this going on. He must be picking up loads of spotting. He hasn't been discovered yet. So our EBR 105 is just sitting there saying, wow, that's amazing. And AMX 13105 and our teams move forward. Getting quite close. Now we're capping. We can expect the pressure to come onto us. Yep. Took one hit, and the Leopard hit us again, and we lost the driver. So they managed to pen, and we pulled back. It was a bit of a mistake to move forward, actually. Now we're down to just 179 hit points, so we can't afford to get hit again. Yeah, I think he went ahead too early. He did get a spot though, so he blocked a shot when he had less than 10%. Can he get a shot into that? It's difficult to get the Bosch, but you can get the Heshbon. Going for the 261 instead and gets a nice hit. Stops that guy throwing a bit of HE at us. And Rider Sorrente. Oh no, that one didn't hit. Okay, he's now firing the premium ammo at long range. I wouldn't go into the cap area just yet. As long as the enemy doesn't know where we are, he'll spot us the moment we shoot though. And we've loaded the AP back again. Oh, it looks like somebody took a hit over there. Heshbon. Yes, you can get this one. And yes, he does. And that's another kill. So he's 3 kills now and he's pulled back into cover. So the Foch can't get another shot on him. Well, in fact, actually, the Foch is gone. So who are we looking to try and hit? That Leopard 1, if we can. He's the one being the nuisance. Well, we fired where the Rhinoceronte was last seen. And now the E3 has moved into that spot. He's got virtually all of his health still. So he might take the focus from the enemy, but we're behind the rock. Oh, we did get spotted, so we have to pull back. Yep, they did try. I reckon that was probably the Leopard that tried there. And you can see shells are still coming in our direction. They see what they perceive to be a weak tank who's actually scored a lot of kills. And they think, yep, that's the strong player on their team. Okay, well, Jamie's decided to pull back and go around and help the Cranbourne on the other side. We're also pushing back into the town on the other side of the map, on the south side. Got a couple of wrecks here we can use for cover. I'm not sure if Jamie wants to move further forward, but we lost the E3. That's not good. Shots are being fired in our direction, but they're hitting the buildings. Okay, he's got 1 round of AP left, and then he's got to use the heat. Just can't see the enemy at the other end. This is where it really would have been nice if we kept the AMX-13105 and of course the EBR-105. Unfortunately, the EBR got killed in the south and our AMX-13105 got killed trying to shoot along the top edge of the map. There we got them. Leopard, yep. Thank you very much. And that is potentially a high caliber, 20% of the enemy hit pool. Okay, it's really good being this far forward. Remember, he's got a weak hull, so he doesn't want to expose his hull if he can help it. Wow, he's really pushing this. Oh my god, look at that. The EBR didn't spot him until he was really close. And there goes the EBR. Oh, only 4 enemies left now. There's the Progetto. You can see the Rhinoceronte who's trying to hit him, but he's going for the rear. And he got the Traxxas there, but he got the spotting, I think, off that one. I hope he did. Actually, I think it's our Foch that got the spotting. Now, we've got the last round of armor piercing. He's trying to maximize his credits by using all of the armor piercing up, but not using as little heat rounds. Here we go. Yes, that penned. Got a low roll though. Now, try not to... well, he's gone forward. No, I held back on that one. No, there you... oh, no, you can't use that. He's trying to use all the gaps. Oh, he did get that one in through the gap. Progetto's trying to kill our TVP. The Progetto's gone. The Jaeger got him instead. And now there's only the E100 left. And he's already gone. And that's the end of the game. Wow. Lot of damage. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the first ace tanker for Jamie2006 in the WZ-111 Model 5A. He managed to get a 5 for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle. His first mark of excellence in this vehicle, as well as a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He ended up with 4 exactly. A shell proof, that's a fighter That's the fighter. That's the shell proof for blocking more damage than hit points to his own vehicle. A spotter for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage. A duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, in fact he ended up with 5 exactly, and a hand of gold for surviving the battle, having received damage from 4 different enemy tanks. On the battle hero medals, he managed to get the high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, a confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team, and finally he got the tank sniper as well for getting the most damage at a distance of 300 meters or more. And I think this battle was mainly shaped by the fact that he decided to push ahead in the valley, went straight through the bottleneck, found only a T100 LT there, and therefore he dominated the battle from there on in, because they had the north, his teammates had the south, the enemy was stuck. They couldn't make it to either of the caps, and they were either going to lose one at one end or they weren't going to be able to get close to the other at the other end. So let's have a look at the win 8. 13,254. He was still alive at the end, still spotting. Let's have a look at team score. Well, the highest damage was 7,474 hit points. This was a tier 10 heavy tank, so that's very good performance indeed. The second highest damage was the Foch 155 on his own team, 6,363. Third highest damage turned out to be the Progetto 65 on the enemy team with 3,560. When it came to kills, well, he shared that one with the Foch 155. Both of them got 4 kills out of the game. 2 kills went to the Cranbon on his own team, who also got a Spartan, and also the Batchat 155-58. Nobody in the enemy team managed to get more than 1 kill. And when it came to base XP, he's got the top on that one. So he's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,294 went to Jamie2006, 1,108 went to the Foch 155, and the third highest was the 113, who managed 883. But only the top 2, the Foch 155 and Jamie, managed to get over 1,000 base between them. Very well done. But you can see these two belong to the same platoon. So both these guys are top players. And between them, they managed to score, what, 8,000? Close to 9,000 damage. Very good indeed between them. Very well done. But look at this. Jamie with 7,400 from just one player. Yep, he really was rocking that one. So let's have a look at the detail. 23 shots fired, 40 rounds of ammo normally in the WZ-111 Model 5A, so he did actually fire more than half his ammo. 20 direct hits on the enemy and 17 penetrations. Damage of 7,474, of which 3,493 were at more than 300 meters. So again, most of the damage was being done at long range, short range rather. 10 hits received from the enemy. 3 of them were penetrations, and most of those pens actually came as he went over the hump into the enemy cap, and that was a bit of a mistake. He went a bit too far forward, and instead he should have stayed behind cover and forced the enemy to come to him. Threatening to cap at any moment would have actually kept their attention. I'm sure the E3 would have gone into the cap anyway, and the E3, if he was thinking carefully, he should have actually parked himself so that he could just block the shots that were coming directly from the Leopard, and then Jamie could actually use those shots to pinpoint his return fire. There was also 6 non-penetrations and 1 hit by way of splash damage as well. That came from the FV4005. 2,850 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 4 enemy vehicles were spotted, 11 enemy vehicles were damaged, 4 were killed, 2,262 hit points of spotting assist. In fact, one of the vehicles that was spotted, by the way, that was the enemy Arty, of course, the Conqueror gun carriage, who was making a quick run for it, and the other one was the T100 LT. The spotter was outspotted, and of course he actually also spotted that EBR, at least I think he spotted the EBR, who was, and he got very close to the guy before he auto-spotted him, because he actually got too close. So very well done on that. 110,697 credits for the battle on a premium count, and 90,000 for completing a mission. 200,697 credits profit, total for the battle, and after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables. Remember, he did fire mostly just standard AP. He did fire a couple of rounds of heat, but mostly standard AP, He ended up with a profit of 81,807 credits. So you can see you can win in a battle like this with standard ammo. He also got 7 bonds for this being tier 10, 1,941 XP for the game, and ×2 for the first victory, 3,882 altogether. So congratulations on your first ace tanker and your first mark. Let's have a quick look at the armor profile. Well, yes, it's a standard WZ design. I think really they all look about the same with this kind of V shape, and they're said to be a kind of a cross between the IS-2 and the IS-3, but it's much more like the T10 overall in shape. It's got a flat front plate instead of the piked front plate. You can see it's 155 millimeters coming up to 231 because of the angling. The upper plate, it's 140 coming up to 225 there, and 142, well, it's 245 there. If you angle this thing on the enemy, it actually drops the armor again because that slight pike bit there, it's not piked on the lower plate, but the angling on the upper plate actually does mean that you actually get better effective armor if you're looking directly at the enemy. If you angle your tank at all, you actually make it easier for them to pen, so you don't really want to angle. But you can see that the turret itself, very strong at the front, 300 millimeters, which is coming up as high as 500. So yeah, about 486. So it's very, very strong on the turret. It's ideal if you want to go hull down. And you remember, you have got 7 degrees of gun depression. The only drawback is you've got these massive cupolas, and yeah, 210 millimeters coming out 230 there. And on this one, it's 180 coming out 216. So if you use the heat rounds, or if you use armor piercing and you've got enough pen, remember this thing's got 250 millimeters of pen with standard ammo, you should be able to make your way through that armor and penetrate with standard AP. If we see the sides of the vehicle, we can see it's only 80 millimeters coming out about 90. So again, you should be able to pen it if you can get the sides. You'll definitely get a pen if you go through the rear, because it's only 55 at some points, coming out 57. The engine deck is very light, it's only 25 millimeters, although the turret is slightly thicker, it's 55 millimeters. So landing an artillery shell on it, you want to try and aim for the engine deck if you can get it. If not, get the rear of the turret. You might, well, you might penetrate the top of the turret if it actually hits the cupolas, but it's a very difficult target to hit. You can see the rear of the vehicle is 60 millimeters, coming out 66. If we show the live model to see how difficult it is to pen, very difficult to pen the turret, much easier to penetrate the upper plate. If he angles, it makes this stuff stronger and the lower plate stronger, but it actually makes this part of the plate much easier to pen. And that's the same for both sides. If you angle it so that you're looking directly at the thing or at the enemy, then it's stronger than it is if you angle it. So ideally, you want to look towards the enemy, but you don't want to let him have a go at those cupolas, because you can see that 210 millimeters of impacted armor 223. You should be able to pen that with standard ammo. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the modules. Okay, that's better. Driver in the center, of course, viewport. He's got ammo racks either side of him, which can't be very comfortable if you think about it. And you can see the gunner is actually on the right hand side with the commander directly behind him. That's the cupola with all the viewports. So if you're going to knock out any person, it's going to be the commander that you're probably going to go for. The loader is in the other hatch on the opposite side. There are ammo racks in the turret. It's a 13 centimeter gun. They're big shells, so it takes a bit of effort to load them into the breech. That's why there's an ammo rack in the turret to aid or ease the loading procedure. And of course, those shells are also in the deep store inside the actual hull. Engine at the back with transmission behind it, 2 fuel tanks either side, standard configuration. So it's just very much like the IS-3 or the IS-2 from the rear, but from the front it's a kind of more like the T10 crossed with the IS-3, but without the pike nose. So that's the modules for the WZ-111 Model 5A. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. Congratulations to Jamie2006 again on his first ace tanker and first mark. And wow, what a game though. Next time I say hide behind the cover, don't move forward, Because of course, especially if there's a Heshbon and a Leopard out there, they're probably going to take it out on you with their with the 105mm for the Leopard, but that 183mm for the Heshbon. So yeah, you really don't want to come up against those. But very, very nice Win 8 score, 13,254. Doing that in a heavy tank takes some doing, so very well done indeed. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.